Okay, so when you hear the word blockchain, you probably think of Bitcoin, right? Well, let's forget about that for a second. We're going to dive into the technology that makes it all possible. Because this isn't just about digital money, it's a whole new way of building trust online. And seriously, it's set to change just about everything.
So, what's the big idea here? At its heart, it's actually surprisingly simple. Let's just strip away all the complicated stuff for a moment and imagine this: a giant digital notebook. A notebook that everyone involved can see, but that no one, and I mean no one, can go back and erase or change. That single idea, that's the key to the whole thing.
All right, so let's talk about this digital notebook. What really makes it so special? Well, in the tech world, we'd call it a decentralized and distributed ledger. I know that sounds like a mouthful, but let's break down what those words actually mean for keeping our digital lives safe and sound. Think about how things normally work online. You've got a single company, a bank, a social media site, and they own the database. They're the boss. But that also means they have a single point of failure. Blockchain flips that on its head. There is no single boss. There's no single server to hack, which means there's no single weak spot. Now, any notebook is only as good as its pages and its binding, right? So how does this digital one hold together so tightly? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of what makes this thing so incredibly difficult to mess with.
So, let's start with the pages. In the world of blockchain, every single page in our notebook is called a block. Simple enough, but these aren't paper pages you can just tear out. Once something is written on a block, it's there for good.
And what's on these pages? Well, each block holds a list of data, like transactions. You can think of it just like a page in an accounting ledger, keeping a running list of who sent what, to whom, and all the important details. Every block also gets stamped with the exact time it was created. This is absolutely crucial. It creates a permanent, unchangeable timeline of events. You know exactly when everything happened, and you can prove it.
And here is the secret sauce, the binding that holds the whole notebook together. Each block contains a unique digital fingerprint of the block that came before it. This fingerprint is called a cryptographic hash. It's what creates the chain in blockchain, linking every single page directly to the one before it in a super secure way. Now, this is the real genius of the whole system. Because every block is mathematically chained to the last one, you can't just go back and secretly change something. If you try to alter even one tiny detail on a past page, you'd break the fingerprint, and that would break the entire chain from that point forward. It would be completely obvious to everyone. And all of this gives blockchain some serious superpowers. This unique structure of chained blocks is exactly what makes it one of the most secure systems ever built. So let's look at why that is. It really comes down to two main things. First, immutability. That's a fancy word, but it just means that once data is written, it's set in stone. It cannot be altered, ever. And second, transparency. Because everyone on the network has a copy of the notebook, everything is out in the open for all participants to see. Just look at the difference side by side. On the left, you have your traditional database. It's centralized. It has that single point of failure we talked about, making it a juicy target for hackers. But on the right, you've got blockchain. The data is distributed, it's spread out over thousands of computers. There's no single honeypot to attack, which makes the whole network incredibly tough and resilient. Okay, but wait a minute. If there's no boss, no one in charge, then how does anybody agree on anything? How do we know what's true and what isn't? Well, the answer is so cool. It's a system that builds trust not on a person or a company, but on pure, cold, hard math.
So here's how it works, in 4 basic steps. First, someone proposes a new transaction. Then, computers all across the network jump in to check it out and make sure it's valid. Third, and this is key, the majority of the network has to agree that it's legit. This is called a consensus mechanism. And finally, once everyone agrees, that new block gets locked into the chain for good. So what you end up with is a system that basically polices itself. It's like having thousands of security guards all watching every single transaction at once. This makes it almost impossible for anyone to commit fraud or sneak in a fake entry because the entire community is there to verify the truth. So, okay, this is all fascinating tech, but what does it actually mean for you and me? It means we're looking at a future where our most important digital information, I'm talking everything from our medical records to our financial data, could be more secure than we ever thought possible. And this isn't science fiction, it's already happening.
Just imagine a world where your sensitive medical records are completely safe and only you can access them. Or where you could sign a legal contract digitally and know with absolute certainty that it can't be tampered with. Or where you could prove who you are online without handing over all your personal details. That's the kind of world blockchain is making possible.
Right now, we're constantly forced to trust big companies with our most private data, and we just have to hope they do the right thing. Blockchain offers a totally different way. It's a system where trust isn't just a promise someone makes, it's a mathematical fact. As one expert perfectly put it, trust is built into the code itself.
So we've seen how this incredible technology can build trust without needing a boss or a central company. And that leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? If trust can literally be programmed into our systems, what part of our digital world is going to be rebuilt next? It's something to think about because this future is being written right now, and you're going to want to see what comes next.